Can you tell us a bit more about your role as the regional development manager in Africa? How did that role come about? When did you start?
Of course, Tao, in 2008, the INF advertised, this position. And this would be the very first role, such role for, a continent. But, I guess it was because the INF realized the potential of netball in Africa. At that stage, there were only 3 countries, affiliated, to the INF. And those countries were South Africa, Malawi, and Botswana. The INF then partnered with UK Sport. UK Sport's concentration at that time was on grassroots development and the empowerment of women and girls. And also then the Commonwealth Games Federation, which concentration was on high performance, of athletes, umpires, and coaches. So, netball does not have a lot of money. So it was a great partnership, between the INF, the UK Sport, and the CGF, because they were the funding partners that made that possible in Africa. We started off with a grassroots development program that we call the Netball Safari. Safari because it's so African. The Netball Safari, concentrates mainly on the introduction of netball in countries, where we can have, mass participation. We usually work with school children where we empower the teachers, with netball skills, with coaching skills, with umpiring skills. We then bring in all the kiddies in, focus, of course, mostly on girls. And then, we bring in them and we empower them with the same skills in coaching and umpiring. And once, we leave the netballs, after the netball safari, of course, our ball partner, Gilbert, comes in very strong when we have the netball safaris, because they provide the equipment that we then leave in the country. A netball safari can be between 6 and 8 days. And then on the other hand, it was important for us to create a strong competition in Africa. But in order to do that, we had to build governance structures. There was a netball governing body for Africa, but that specific netball governing body was extremely silent. The INF then decided, to establish a new body that would get then later recognition by the African Union. And so we established in 2009, we established African Netball. My job was then to get into the countries to make sure that we get the countries on board as members, but at the same time to develop netball, to develop the players, and now, we are at the point where we have 21 members. We have several African players playing for super leagues in the United Kingdom, Australia, and New Zealand. We have, infiltrated the French-speaking countries in Africa. So we even now have netball in French-speaking countries going very strong. And then, of course, we have international umpires. We are doing extremely well on the coaching side. We have established another development program that would follow on the netball safari, which we call the netball hub sites. That was made possible with Zambia being one of the projects for the for the Net 2019 Legacy program of the World Cup that took place in Liverpool. The Netball Hub Sites, of course, is a very strong community-based sport where we bring all the kids together, regardless of the lack of proper netball courts. We bring them all together, you know, into one space 2 days a week where they can play netball and where we can empower the coaches. So a lot has been happening, you know, between 2008 until now. There is a strong African netball governing body with 21 member countries. We are a member of the African Union. All the 21 countries are members of the International Netball Federation. They are members of African Netball, and we play netball as far as possible in Africa. We also, you know, have made several strides on the international on the international level. Africa was the only continent that in 2015 World Cup and even in the World Cup last year got, you know, 4 countries qualified for the World Cup. And then, you know, we have South Africa, Malawi, and Uganda amongst the first 8 countries ranked in the world.